Hey, we are live week 10, Saturday morning, November 1st. Hard to believe it is already November here on Lance's Lock. We are coming off a 3-0 for you guys last night. We're 3-0 in college football this week, so we are ready to roll. We have 9 total plays up and available today. So jump on and win with us here. Big day as I turn on my YouTube TV. No ESPN, no ABC. So wall-to-wall Fox right here on the pregame. Actually on the Big Ten Network right now. But I have figured it out. I am going Sling today, a daily pass of Sling. I don't know what you guys are doing. Anybody that is on YouTube TV, you're obviously having the same issues we're all having. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to jump on Sling for the day, see how that goes. Hopefully this dispute gets settled sooner than later. If it doesn't, then we figure out another plan. But Sling TV, so I get to download another app on all my TVs. No quad box, which sucks, but first world problems, right? So we'll see what happens there. Big day planned for you guys. Again, we have 9 plays up and available. It's a strange day in this regard. I've only got 4 sides. I've got 5 totals. There's a lot of Saturdays we don't play any totals. We have played 2 totals this week. We're 3-0 in college football, and we're 2-0, obviously, on those totals. We have 5 totals today in college football. I think we've got 3 unders and 2 overs. I'll get to the windows where our games are, and we have 4 sides. That is all up and available right now. You can get a daily package, weekly package, monthly package, all at lanceslock.com, where you get a free play every single day. Again, we are really heating up in the NBA. I mean, we took last weekend completely off from the NBA. I think we started 0-9, but I think now we've hit 6 of 7. So heating up in the NBA. We're 3-0 in college football. We're 29-12 in the NFL. We're getting ready for a big week 9 tomorrow in that. Any of these games you want to talk about, jump on. We're going to hang out about 30 minutes or so, and then we're going to get ready for the 11 o'clock window again. I've got to get Sling downloaded to all my TVs. But happy Saturday. We're coming off a really great Friday night and a fun night in Major League Baseball where the Dodgers were able to hold on 3-1. Tyler Glasnow comes in the ninth. A little excitement there. They get the double play, very non-traditional 7-4 double play. But they get out of it, and now we've got a Game 7 in Major League Baseball, which I love, but I don't love it on a Saturday night, interfering my college football. But I will find a TV for it. But things have gotten more complicated without the quad box because Fox obviously carrying Game 7 tonight of the World Series. That will be part of the quad box, but I need a standalone TV for this. The night action, too. I mean, I don't expect South Carolina to really give Ole Miss much, but if they were, that would need to find a TV. Oklahoma, Tennessee should be fantastic. We do have a play on that game. USC, Nebraska is obviously an elimination game, and far-fetched to believe one of those 2 teams with only 2 losses could still get to the college football playoff, but they can, and obviously that will be a game that I will have front and center. I do have a play on Georgia Tech, NC State. That's 6:30 ESPN too. And again, I'm not going to be able to quad box it, so that's going to be a standalone. So again, first world problem, but the television situation has gotten a little complicated. My man Ashton Daniels is starting today. Again, I got nothing against Ashton Daniels. I thought, it was a wise move for Hugh Freeze to go out and get this guy in the portal because he's basically 2 full seasons he started in the ACC, or 1 in the Pac-12 and 1 in the ACC. And he's a very mobile, athletic quarterback. He just isn't very accurate. He's almost Robbie Ashford again. And I got to give Robbie Ashford a little more credit because Robbie Ashford's played much better this year for Jake Dickert and Wake Forest. I just don't see much of an upgrade from Jackson Arnold. I mean, really, it's not an upgrade. You've been playing Jackson Arnold. You are probably paying Jackson Arnold 4 or 5 times what you're paying Ashton Daniels. So the evaluation was, the better quarterback has been playing, and now you're going to Ashton Daniels. I just don't understand why you don't go to Deuce Knight. Let's go to the true freshman. It's pretty obvious he hasn't been able to pick up this offense yet, but I think, Auburn fans would love to see a glimpse of the future, and see what he might be able to do under the lights with live bullets, but we're not going to be able to see that. At least it doesn't look like it initially. Again, both of these teams are so pathetic offensively, both in the 90s in scoring offense, virtually the same offense. Kentucky averages 24.1, Auburn 24.7. Okay, so we're jumping all over here. Again, it is week 10 college football here. Lance's Lock. The priorities stack up like Sling TV. Got to figure that out for the day where I can actually watch the games. And then the TV setup. It's going to be interesting. TK 11 hoops. Florida first half, then Georgia second half after Kirby adjusts. I do remember there was a time where it seemed like the easiest of money when you would play Alabama in their first half. And then it's like Vegas finally adjusted and you couldn't get Alabama minus the 13.5 anymore for the first half. I just wonder how long it's going to take Vegas to adjust to know that Kirby, they are so much better in the second half. So I see where you are. I do have a play on that game, the cocktail party at 2:30, ABC, another channel we're going to have to figure out with Sling TV. I hadn't looked at a first half number on that. I would assume that Florida is probably catching 4 in the first half. And then, depending on how the first half goes, that's where your second half number. I mean, the problem here, you try to plan that out, you get completely over your skis if Georgia's up 10.5. What do you do at that point? Do you play Georgia again? But then Georgia, they push in the second half. They end up covering the game, but you lose both sides. It gets a little complicated with that. But I see where you're going with it. I do have a side on this game. So that is up and available right now at lanceslock.com. Again, we are on fire right now. I mean, you guys know me long enough. We got 91 of you, 92, 93 now live. We're going to be doing this every Friday and Saturday. We're working on a way to make this better and maybe have some guests included, which would be a lot of fun, and get some guest picks. I know I've been saying that, but we've been working through a lot of different things. But we're going to do this more consistently. With that said, I've got to get more consistent start times. So I do apologize for the 10 o'clock start time. But with just a lot of moving parts this morning and trying to figure out, Sling TV is where I am going. I'm very interested to see where anybody else on YouTube. And I think there's a lot of people, I don't know what the split is, because I know we got some Fubo. We've got some Sling. We've got some DirecTV Stream. I just wonder where you guys are that are on YouTube TV right now. Are you going to do the Daily Pass? Are you doing over-the-air antenna for ABC? Very interested to see that. So let me know. Also, again, any games you want to talk about, week 10, week 9 NFL, I'm here for you. We can get into those. And again, I will go through the 9 games we've got up and available. TK11 Fubo 5-day free trial. Now, I think I remember I've been on Fubo and I've been on Sling both, because the Pac-12 network was such a pain in the ass. Obviously, nobody carried it when I was with DirecTV for years. There was nothing I could do about it. So, I would, try to get really creative with the way we would do the Pac-12 network. So I've had both of those. One of them was really, really difficult to cancel. Ryan, did you get the orange and blue package with the sports add-on? I think it was like $50, and there was no free trial, at least what I saw. I did check that out though with your recommendation, but I think the easiest thing for me today is going to be the daily Sling Pass. Okay, so want to remind you guys again, 29-12 in the NFL, 3-0 already this week in college football. We're coming off a 3-0 last night overall. And we've got 4 consecutive winning nights going right now. Free play every single day at lanceslock.com. We've got 8 plays available for you today. And I do want to go through the windows. I want to get to that teaser, and I'm going to get to any games that you guys want to talk about. So first, let's see the windows we are at. And I'll quickly go through. And again, any games you want to get into, let me know, because we've got it right here. We are going to dive into the 11 o'clock window. We have a total play in one of those games. You guys know I absolutely hate playing the 11 o'clock windows. But I really, really, really like this total. So we have one game going off in that window, and then we're going to pack it in a little bit more in the 2:30 window, and then obviously in the nighttime. I'm looking for a West Coast game that I cannot find on my board here. Time. Florida, Georgia is 2:30. We've got one in the 3 o'clock window, a total there on Mississippi State and Arkansas. This is the 6 p.m. window that I am looking for right now. And that is, I have a total for Wyoming and San Diego State. CBS Sports Network, not affected on YouTube TV with that one. Pallet Guy. Is it full contrarian to launch it on Vandy on the road? I feel the average bettor will see Texas at a small number and go that way. Yeah, you know what's interesting about this? I've been keeping up with this money, and I stayed away from this. And again, talked about this last night. I really wanted to play Vanderbilt in this game, but I don't know if it's the right side. This thing has ticked up to Texas 3.5. The money's relatively split. Pallet Guy, I think we're getting value with Vanderbilt. I'm not going to play it, but I really, really do think we're getting value there. I think it is the Texas brand. I think still we just don't want to wrap our arms around how good this Vanderbilt team is. And look, they're coming off a game where I thought their offense was awful. They found a way to beat Missouri. Missouri ended up having the backup quarterback. Zollers has to come in because Prbula, dislocates the ankle. So they found a way to win, though. And I just don't trust this Texas team. I think Arch is going to play. I don't know if that's been confirmed yet. But I just don't trust them. I don't think they're very good. I think the defense is completely legit. But outside of that, we'll see what happens. But the money's pretty split. So I see where your thought was on that. But I don't know. I mean, I would guess if we were in Vegas, majority of people probably would be on Texas. I don't know if you guys have ever been out there for the 11 o'clock window. Very sleepy in the sports books. Sometimes for the 9 o'clock Saturday. College football not nearly as big out there as the NFL is. I guess it's not nearly as big as it is anywhere like it is here, obviously, where we originate out of Birmingham. Arch is confirmed. Thought he was. Thank you, Ryan. Okay, our 9 plays today. We've got one 11 o'clock window. We've got 2 in the 2:30s and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 nighttime. Yeah, 1 late night. And then actually 5 in prime time. So that's kind of how it lays out today. Houston versus West Virginia. I took a look at this. I took a look at Connor Wegman and Willie Fritz in Houston. They're playing really good football right now. Ended up staying away from it. I want to see where that number has settled right here. And then I'll get into why I was going to play Houston. Ended up staying away from it. But this Houston team has gotten, nobody's talking about them, but it's a pretty good team in the Big 12, and it's kind of a surprise team. I don't think there was any expectation for Willie Fritz this year at Houston. I think everybody was talking, the obvious. Houston sitting at 7-1, playing West Virginia, and they have completely just fallen off the map since beating Pittsburgh with that double-digit comeback and Rich Rod's really only quality win of the year. Where was I on Houston? Not only are they winning, they're covering right now. Connor Wegman's not turning the football over. He hadn't been flashy, but 7-2 their last 9 out, and you're going against a West Virginia defense that is absolutely awful, giving up 30 points per game. But West Virginia's offense is even worse, 115th in scoring offense. This number just looks a little small. I know that sounds crazy with Houston laying 12.5, but this thing should be more like 17. So if I played it, it would be one of those lay it or don't play it situations for me. But I think I would play Houston here, but I did not give that out. Again, 146 of you guys live. We'll probably go another 15 minutes or so. I've already gone to the store. I don't have to worry about that. I've just got to worry about this Sling TV. I've got bourbons in for today. I've already got cold beer. I've just got to figure out the TV situation. Again, first world problem, food and TV. Only things I got to figure out. And I've got plenty of snacks because for the 3rd consecutive year, I cannot make this up. I'm in a pretty populated neighborhood. probably, I'm guessing, I should know this, 400 houses in my neighborhood. I'm on a cul-de-sac. For the third consecutive year, not one trick-or-treater, which I don't hate. I really don't, but it's just kind of strange. But I've got plenty of Reese's Cups and Tootsie Pops for later if I want that kind of stuff. Okay, any of these games you guys want to get into, let me know. And I'm going to figure out where we were on some of the plays that we scratched late. Kansas State was one of those. I wanted to play Kansas State. I really, really wanted to play Kansas State. Just where they are right now, I had more expectation. You know, when Jake Retzloff, best thing that ever happened to BYU, and this happens sometimes, you know, Bear Bachmeier getting the start because Retzloff broke the code of conduct and he goes to Tulane, and then Bear Bachmeier, the true freshman, gets the start, and the rest is history. One of the 6 undefeated teams right now, and they've got the week off. That's a really, really good team. I liked this summer before Retzloff got the boot. I liked BYU to win the Big 12. And then after that happened, I started to circle in on Utah, and we'll get to Utah in a little bit. But I thought Kansas State was very much in the mix to win the Big 12 this year. And they just were playing awful. It almost seemed like, you know, they go to Ireland. They lose that game in the yuck conditions. They lose Dylan Edwards early in that game on a punt return, and the offense was never the same. Well, it looks like Kansas State has fixed the offense. I mean, right now, Avery Johnson, 7 total touchdowns, no picks his last 2 games. They're 4-1 against the number their last 5 out. But you're playing a Texas Tech team that has a top 4 scoring offense, top 4 scoring defense. They have been dominant, and they also cover. Joey McGuire, his squad, 7-1, their last 8 out. You know, Baron Morton is back in the mix. He was so much better early, but you can't really trust him to stay healthy for a full 60 minutes. But I do lean Kansas State. But getting 7.5 in the Little Apple is just something you just don't see. And I think a combination, they were so bad early, and Texas Tech has been so dominant. Oh, wow. No cheese, please. Sling TV website is crashing. Been trying to sign up for a day pass for 30 minutes. Son of a fuck. Oh, I should have done this last night. My problem was I didn't want to do it last night, and then the 24 hours runs out in the middle of the Cincinnati-Utah game. I just don't know why you can't have like the a la carte, the availability to select individual games and just buy the game. Whether it's $10 a game, $5 a game, whatever it is. Would absolutely love to have that, because they used to do that on Sunday Ticket for a little bit. And Sunday Ticket just, I don't even know what it costs now, but it's the best value out there. And if you're an NFL fan, if you've got a team, got to have Sunday Ticket. I love people sending me pics from Vegas. Sorry. Got distracted there. This Sling TV thing has thrown me off. No cheese, please. Let me know if you do get in. I've got girlfriend currently working on that, so hopefully I will be up and ready to roll, because in my opinion, like if I could only watch one game today, it would be Vanderbilt and Texas. I know that sounds nuts. I don't know about you guys. What is the one game you would watch today? There are, in my opinion, 2 elimination games, both in the SEC. I mean, a little bit more if you work through it, but Vanderbilt, Texas, elimination game. I think if Vanderbilt wins this game, I think they're in. I think they probably still a good chance they lose in Knoxville, but I think a 10-2 Vanderbilt team is going to get into the college football playoff with that resume. Another elimination game, Oklahoma, Tennessee. Strength on strength, weakness on weakness. Great Oklahoma defense, great Tennessee offense, very bad Tennessee defense. And right now, Ben Arbuckle's offense is I don't want to call it Garrett Riley 2.0 at Clemson. And it's easy to blame this on the Mateer injury. And John Mateer, from the first 4 games to where he is his last 3 games, it's been night and day. And I still think the thumb is affecting him, and he is not playing at the highest of levels. But you would hope that Mateer in this situation against a Tennessee defense that has been, again, god-awful. I mean, Tennessee's defense right now, 119th in scoring defense, giving up 31 points per game. You would think that Mateer, even a little banged up, not 100%, could still have a big game against this defense. And if Oklahoma wants to survive in advance and still be in the mix, to possibly be a 2-loss team that gets to a college football playoff, they've got to win this game, obviously. Tyler Wayne Tucker. Sorry if you already gave thoughts on Vanderbilt and Texas. We talked about it a little bit, just talked about where the money would be. And, it's actually pretty split. I think you're getting value with Vanderbilt. It's an 11 o'clock game. I did play one in the 11 o'clock window. I've got a total in the 11 o'clock window. I stayed away from this side. I do like the Commodores. Their offense didn't play well last week. They're 12th in scoring offense, over 38 points per game. But they found a way to win, and they're covering right now. 7-2, their last 9 out against the number. Texas on the other side has been awful. Sark is not getting you guys to the window. 2-8, their last 10 out. But that defense is a monster, and it still is arguably the best defense in the SEC. It's one of the best in the country, giving up right at 14 points per game. So if Diego plays like he did last week, Vanderbilt could be in trouble, at least offensively. But Vanderbilt's got a really good defense too. So even with Arch in there, I don't think we're going to see for 60 minutes fourth quarter Arch that we saw in Starkville last week. If we do, then watch out. Texas could make some noise moving forward. But look, this is an elimination game. Obviously, if Texas takes third loss, they're done. Vanderbilt, if they were to lose here, it's going to be really, really difficult for them to win out because they do have to go to Knoxville. So I view that as an elimination game, and Oklahoma, Tennessee, both elimination games. And then obviously there's other games out there where, if Georgia was to take a loss today, Georgia's in serious trouble. USC takes a loss, they're done. Georgia Tech, they're one of the 6 undefeateds. I think they're fine. Utah's got a little momentum going. This is a big game, Cincinnati, Utah. Big game. And you guys have heard me talk enough about this when everybody's talking about where this number is right now and how out of whack everybody believes it is because Utah's laying 10.5. Let's not forget, though, and look, they lost earlier this year. They played an awful fourth quarter and lost to Texas Tech. Weird 11 o'clock game that you never see in Salt Lake. But this is a team that doesn't lose at home. And you've got to, ranked on ranked. This is the third time Utah's had one of those. They lost the first 2 this year. So I think they're looking for a little revenge here. And they're playing a red-hot Bearcat team that has won 7 consecutive games. We backed Cincinnati in a lot of these games. And Brendan Sorsby's been the real deal. And not only is this a game, Cincinnati can really start to navigate maybe playing for the Big 12 and an opportunity for a one-game situation to play their way in. But Brendan Sorsby is also a guy that could get into the Heisman conversation. He doesn't turn it over. They put up big numbers offensively, and he hasn't turned the football over in 7 straight games, all 7 wins right now for the Bearcats. So that is a very, very interesting game. A lot of people think that number is spiked. I think Utah comes to play. No cheese, please. Hoping the traffic slows down when the games start, and then I can get signed up. Got a friend who loves Clemson big today for some reason. Have you got a feel for it? I've got a friend that is actually at that game. He went to Death Valley for the first time ever. He had planned it. Very strange. There was probably a little more expectation for this game in the offseason, especially on the Clemson side. Where this Clemson team is it's baffling. Don't know what to say. I thought Clemson was going to be really, really good with Klubnik this year. Klubnik can't stay healthy. This offense is awful. Right now, that number just hasn't moved. 3.5, 54.5. I took a look at Duke. They've lost 7 straight at Clemson. I don't trust Darian Mensah. And every time I play Clemson, I get burned. 3-9 their last 12 against the number. I wanted to play Duke here. Clemson's probably this. I'm not giving you anything at all. No cheese, please. Clemson is the right way, if that makes any sense. I think your sharp money is going to be on Clemson. I like Duke for whatever reason, catching 3.5. But again, they've lost 7 straight at Clemson. But on the other side, Clemson is 0 for 8 against the number their last 8 home games. So they can't cover in Death Valley. So what used to be, I guess, I've never been there, so I can't speak to it. I've seen it. I heard the Rock's smaller than it looks on TV. But I heard it used to be a really, really good atmosphere. I don't think that atmosphere is going to be anything today, 11 o'clock kick, when we're talking about a 4-3 taking on a 3-4. You play in DraftKings this week. I am. And I am so excited about my morning lineup. I got to see how many people jumped in our league. Like for the first time, I'm not going power at quarterback. That's normally the first thing I do is go straight power. I do my quarterback and then I do super flex, and I always use both quarterbacks. Now, I used a quarterback for super flex this day, and I know this sounds really nerdy if none of you guys play DraftKings, but it's really fun. You can play it for $1. I mean, literally, and I have no endorsement deal with them at all. And I'm sure there's other outlets where you can do the fantasy. But you can play these leagues for $1. You can put them together and invite friends. And, you know, if I win one of these leagues today, what will we win on this one? Like $67 is total prizes right now. So we've only got 4 people signed up, but I have got a sneaky good lineup today, Ryan. Sneaky good lineup. And the one thing I would say, you have got to play Jeremiah Love today against this BC defense. He's very expensive, might be the most expensive guy going in the early window, but I'm telling you, he will put up 40 plus points today. Jeremiah Love, big day for Notre Dame. I was asked yesterday when we were talking about it on the next round about style points for Notre Dame, a team that has to win out after losing the first 2 games in Miami, 1 possession loss, the crazy comeback from Texas A&M and South Bend. Now Notre Dame is starting to roll. They're 14-5, their last 19 against the number. People talk about, you know, Marcus Freeman maybe a little distracted, talking about, you know, LSU and some other jobs out there, NFL jobs. He doesn't view me as a guy that gets distracted. They are zoned in, and this offense is popping, scoring right at 40 points per game. And now you're going against a Boston College defense that allows 163 rushing yards per game. You've got a mobile quarterback in CJ Carr. You've got Jadarian Price, and then you've got Jeremiah Love. I mean, arguably the best 1-2 punch in all of college football in that backfield. So I think they will absolutely gash Boston College. And at the same time, because that number has ticked up so much, might be a situation you just don't get enough possessions to get the cover there. But this is definitely a play it, a lay it or don't play it situation for Notre Dame. Game's gone up to 31.5. Could have got them at 28.5 2 days ago. It opened at 27.5 earlier this week. And it's one of those that I just last minute I stayed away from. And you probably will get home easy with Notre Dame today. So we'll see. I don't think Boston College is going to have anything for them defensively. They've lost 4 straight by 14 plus points, and they've been really, really bad in this matchup as well. 1-5, their last 6 against the number is Bill O'Brien and Boston College. Okay, what else do we have? 231 of you guys live. I appreciate you jumping on today. Again, I'm looking up at what used to be a quad box, and so sad it's a dual box with the Big Ten Network and Fox now. I have watched a lot more Fox programming over the last couple of days. Anything else you guys want to talk about here? I got to get to before I forget, and I continue. This is the problem with doing a solo show like this is you try to multitask and you forget. I am going to get to this super tease that we talked about here in a little bit. I'm just going through it to remind me. I know one leg of this is going to be early, and I'm trying to, I could just do an early tease altogether, and I just don't know how it doesn't win. Let's see here. So I've got 2 legs right now that I remember that we were putting in here. I'm looking, I thought it was a nighttime game. Yeah, and I'm going to go with that. Okay, here's what we've got. And I think this is an absolute winner on the tees front. I wanted to play Florida State against Wake because Florida State, I can't remember the last time. I mean, again, Mike Norvell was 2 years younger the last time they won an ACC game, and you are laying a half if you put them in the 3-teamer. Utah is one of those that I would love to as well, but I think Utah either blows them out, talking about Cincinnati, or they lose the game. So that's one of those I'm going to stay away from. Here are the 3 I'm going to play. I'm going to play Miami at a pick today, leaving the state of Florida for the first time this season, which is absolutely insane when it's November and Miami has not left Florida. But I'm playing Miami at a pick against SMU. Rhett Lashley and SMU have been very, very disappointing. And I still think this Miami team is good. Not great. I think better on defense. And that's been one of the stories, like how trash their defense was when they had a generational quarterback like Cam Ward. They've got a very good quarterback now in Carson Beck. But the defense, man, 8th in scoring defense, only giving up 14 points per game. Kevin Jennings has been awful his last 2 games out. So I'm playing Miami here to pick the first leg. I already talked about Houston. If you're just jumping on here, Houston's gotten red hot. Connor Wegman's not turning the football over. Willie Fritz has got them sitting at 7-2. They are one of the surprise teams in the Big 12, 7-1 and ranked right now. So I am going to play Houston minus 2.5. I like under that field goal number because we know on a three-team 10-point tease, a push is a loss. And then finally, I'm going to play Lane Kiffin minus the 2.5 at Ole Miss. Game he lost last year to Kentucky, baffling game. People talk about the distractions with Lane right now, talking about Florida or maybe LSU, but South Carolina coming off the really wild game, losing 29-22 to Alabama, where they were so physical and they had that game wrapped up. I think they're probably going to be out of steam. And even as well as South Carolina played, only 333 total yards. They still haven't gone over 350 yards in any game this season. And Ole Miss is one of the more balanced teams in all of the SEC, right there with Texas A&M, in my opinion. So this is weird. I think South Carolina, I looked at them maybe to cover the 12.5. I didn't love it, so I stayed away from it. But I do think Ole Miss minus the 2.5 in that tease. So there you go. Miami to pick, Houston minus 2.5, and Ole Miss minus 2.5. A game I also left off. 2 of them, very weird. Michigan State. Jonathan Smith, people are talking about getting rid of this guy. You can't. I would say this is Tony Elliott on steroids. And what I mean by that is Tony Elliott now in year 5 hasn't had a winning season, and they've left him alone. Virginia football is obviously not that important, but now they're 7-1 for the first time since 2007. They're finding ways to win games, even in ugly moments. By the way, North Carolina, congratulations. Belichick, 3rd win last night. We had the under in that game, and holy hell, they were just up and down the field in the second half. After scoring 6 at half, we had to sweat it a little bit, but we got home with the under. But my point, Tony Elliott, they were patient with him. Now they're sitting at 7-1. Michigan State has got to show some patience. You know, you just paid Mel Tucker the ridiculous contract. You were handcuffed on that, so you had to pay that massive buyout to Mel Tucker to fire him. Michigan State has been awful. They're 119th in scoring defense. They are 1-9 their last 10 against Minnesota against spread, but they're 4-1 their last 5 out against the number. So they've got a little bit better. They were competitive last week. I know that sounds ridiculous against Michigan. They kept it under the number, so they lose that game by single digits. But I like Michigan State on the road against a Minnesota team that got completely spanked last week in Iowa City. Number is sitting at 4. Michigan State was a late scratch. So Michigan State is 1. And again, Florida State was a late scratch too. Florida State is just sooner or later, you've got to win one of these games. And, you know, not only are they not winning, they're not covering. They're 1-4 their last 5 out against the number. Offense is still really good, though, averaging right at 40 points per game. Ryan, I forgot who you picked in the Navy North Texas game. I've got North Texas. So this was a late scratch for me. I like this over, believe it or not. A lot of points here. It was an 11 o'clock game. I did play 1 11 o'clock games. I hate the 11 o'clock games, but I do like this over the 68.5. Navy has not been tested. Hey, and look, give the midshipmen a lot of credit. They are 1 of 6 undefeateds right now, but they're 1-5 against the number of their last 6. They're not playing great. It's very strange because they're sitting at 7-0, but now you're going to a Mean Green to play a team in Denton that is also, well, they're not 7-0, but they're 7-1, but they've got the number 1 scoring offense in all of football, over 46 points per game. Their quarterback, I got to bring this up because I talked about it last night. The Drew Mestamaker kid, 608 yards against Charlotte passing last week, and nobody talks about it. So I think this North Texas offense will have no problem. You worry Navy sometimes turning the clock a little bit, but I think this is going to be up and down. North Texas, the defense is not good. They're 78th in scoring defense, giving up 25 points per game. So I think Navy will score with them. If I played, I would lay the 6.5, but my bigger play here would be over 68.5. I think both teams easily Get 35 plus, probably plays into the 40s. This total flies over into the 80s is what I'm going to say. So no cheese, please, was asking about UNT Navy as well. Put my phone on the incognito mode. I don't know what that is. Created a new account, was able to get the day pass for $6. Orange Plus Sports is the package. Okay, I'm going to get off because I'm going to go work on that because we have 23 minutes until kick. 264 of you guys, really appreciate you jumping on. Last night was a little light, probably because of Halloween. Again, we've got 9 plays up. We are going to win for you. We're 29-12 in the NFL, and we've got plays coming up later today. I've already started to circle in on those. We're 3-0 already this week in college football. We were 3-0 overall last night. We're heating up in the NBA. All we've got wall-to-wall today is college football. 9 plays, 5 totals, very strange. 4 sides, free play available right now. Go to lanceslock.com and check that out. You guys have a great day. I appreciate all 271 of you guys jumping on. We're going to do this many more times. I'm going to figure out a better schedule to jump on here and do 30-minute, 45-minute shows, much more than we've been doing in the past. But for sure, every Friday, Saturday. You guys have a wonderful Saturday. I cannot believe it is freaking November, but let's win. And if we go 9-0, we will jump back on and we'll do a special show going into Sunday morning. So let's do that. We've never had a perfect Saturday. We strive for that every single Saturday. But let's have a big one. 9 plays. Let's go 9-0. Let's do it. You guys have a great Saturday. Be safe. Let's win. And we'll join you soon. Thanks so much for hanging out with us for a few minutes right here on Lance's Lock. If I can figure out how to get out of here, there we go.